Hi, this is Patty Bennett with PattyStamps.com. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have something very exciting to share with you that you can do with your envelope punch board. Now, a couple days ago, I shared a video about making the envelopes, which of course is what it's meant for, but it is also very exciting to play with other ideas. And I made these very fun cards. We call them file folder cards because they have these cute little tabs that kind of make it look like a file folder, and you can do that really easily with this envelope punch board. So I just thought I would give you a quick tutorial to show you how you can make them. Now you can make them with designer paper on the front and the inside, or you could do them with just plain cardstock. You can cut them down so that it's only partial, like this one. You can do them horizontal or vertical, and you can do them smaller. You can make them a pouch with this little spot to tuck in an extra little note. So once you know the basic steps for this, you can adapt this to any size and any pattern that you'd like. You're going to start with just your regular half a sheet of cardstock. So we have 5.5 by 8.5, scored in half and folded in half. And then we're going to make the two tabs on here. Your first step is to trim off a little bit of this card front if you want them to be unequal. Let me show you what I mean by that. So do you see how this one actually sticks up farther than this one? And so I cut the front flap smaller than the inside flap. And it doesn't matter exactly how much you cut off. I kind of like to do about 3/4 of an inch, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. Either one will work. So I'm just going to take that much off, and now you can see how they are unequal here. And then we'll use the punch board. And what I'm going to do is to put the left side of my card in, and I'm going to lift this up and show you where I'm lining that up. So do you see where I'm lining it up with the left side of that opening? And I am going to line that up and punch, and it gives it that edge that looks like a file folder tab. And then I'm going to scoot this over, and it doesn't really matter how wide your tab is. That's totally up to you, whatever you'd like. What I found was that I like to line up the left side of my card with the number 3, with the 3-inch mark, but this is totally up to you. And you punch it again, and then you get that. So now we're going to put it in the paper cutter and trim off this piece. So it's kind of a little back and forth here with the equipment, but it works. And what I'm going to do is line up this valley with the groove in my cutter. So I want to make sure that I'm going to cut off from the bottom of the valley over. So I'm just going to line that up there. And then you can put your cutter right in the middle of that groove and just pull down, and it will cut off that piece. And sometimes you just have to smooth a little bit. But do you see how that gave you your first file folder tab? Isn't that fun? So then we'll repeat this for the other side, the back half of the card, but you're going to flip it over so that you're doing the same thing, but you're doing it on the opposite side. So punch, move it over to about 3 inches and punch. Now we're going to trim this piece off with the trimmer. And so there we have the 2 file folder tabs that are offset. The last step would be to round the corners, and that goes back to the punch board, because you'll probably remember this portion of the punch board is actually a corner rounder. So we'll just place that portion in, just make sure that it's nice and snug in there, and punch that one, and then turn it around and punch that corner. And there you have your file folder card. How fun is that? Now, if you wanted these to be equal, you would not trim the first part of the card. You could just do your notches and do them in the same spot. So let's try that on this one. I've covered the front of the card with some designer paper, and then I've put a strip on the inside because I want to leave some room to write. So again, just line it up with the left side in there, punch, move it over to 3, and punch. And I'm just going to go ahead and punch this side so that we don't have to go back and forth with the trimmer and the cutter. So we've done our 2 notches, one in the front and one in the back, and then now I'm cutting through 2 layers, so I'm just going to put a little more pressure on there, and that gives me my front tab. And then I'm going to do this side. So now I have tabs that line up equally up here because I did not cut anything off the front. So that's an option. You can do that either way. And then of course you just round these 2 opposite corners here on the punch board. So again, we'll just take a quick look at these. So this one I actually added some washi tape onto this tab area and covered the front with designer paper. And then this one is one of the note cards. It's 3.5 by 5, so same idea, just a smaller scale. And I sealed up the sides with sticky strips so that I would have a little pocket to put an extra note in. And this one I did horizontal, covered the front with designer paper, and covered the inside with designer paper. And these are from the fun little tags that you can purchase to go in the 8x8 scrapbook. Those are just fun. And here I put the little tags from that tag sampler in this pocket. So this one has little pieces of sticky strip right there, and the ribbon is just kind of decorative, but it could hold it together. And I only made 1 file folder tab on this one. I didn't do it on the top, I just rounded the corners. So there's lots of different design ideas you can do using this file folder idea. I'll have a link for you to order this if you'd like to purchase that in my online store. I think this is a fun tool, and I really hope you enjoy making file folder cards as much as I did.